Good evening. Welcome to Just Jada. I'm your host, Jada. Thank you for tuning in. On today's show, I have the amazing Clairol model, Miss Tracy Africa. You may have seen Tracy all over the television lately on the Clairol commercial. She's by Central Park doing the little twirl, and she's doing an interview telling you about her experience in the modeling agency. It's such a privilege to have the iconic figure, Tracy Norman, on my show today. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Thank
just
you
fantastic.
For coming. I don't even know where to start. No, I'm dead serious. I don't even know where to start because I don't want to make this about me, but I just want to just say before we start that I am so truly inspired by you and so truly vicariously living through you.
Oh, thank you.
When you, and I'm going to let you talk, when you was giving your interview and I saw you by the park and you were walking across the street in a commercial,
Yes.
I can't even explain it. I felt it. Like I was so happy for you that I didn't even have words to say, and I just felt it. Like that's I don't want to get spiritual, but that's how I know that there is someone who looks out for me and us.
Most definitely.
You get what I'm saying? Enough about that. All right. So how have you been?
I've been good, thank you.
Oh my God. So why don't you just start off just telling me, just giving my viewers a little bit about your history and who you are and how you got into modeling.
Well, I am Tracy Africa Norman, and I got into modeling back in the 70s. A friend of mine saw me downtown in my hometown of Newark, and they hadn't seen me for a while. I knew them before my transformation, and then they saw me after. So they came out of the store, called my name, asked me to come into the store, and they thought that I was pretty enough to be a model. So I just said okay, and that's how it started.
Nice. And what year was this?
This was back in like '75 when I first came around to being who Tracy is.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
You look amazing. I know, like, the models nowadays, they don't really do, and some of them do something for me, but not all. Like, I love the old girls like Pat Cleaveley, Naomi Sims, Beverly Johnson, and all those girls. How was it modeling back in those days?
It was exciting because I was young and I was green, and it was on a professional level. I mean, I've done some local stuff, but it wasn't like what I was doing on a professional level. So it was all exciting for me, and I was just happy to be there.
Prior to being a model, did you see yourself as a model? Is it something like, see, I always knew I wanted to be an actress from a kid. Did you say, I want to grow up and be a model, or was this something that's happened by chance that you fell in love with?
This happened by chance because that was not my train of thought at the time. At the time, I thought that I was going to be the world's first African-American woman race car driver. I'm totally serious. I was obsessed with speed and the excitement of it, and I got it honest because my grandfather would take me and my sister down south every year, and he would stand me up on his lap, and then my hands would be on the steering wheel, and he would just tell me to keep it straight, and then eventually he would go faster and faster, and I would have this big Kool-Aid smile on my face. So I was excited, and that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a race car driver.
Can you actually drive?
Oh, yes.
You can drive?
Yes,
Have you
girl.
did something crazy, like in terms of driving really, really fast?
Yes.
You're a speed junkie?
Yes, I am.
That is so crazy because I'm an adrenaline junkie. Tracy, no, dead serious. Every time, two things I want to do. I want to skydive. I want to bungee jump, and I want to fly in a cop. And every time I tell someone I want to I want to climb a mountain, they be like, I'm so serious. I'm such an adrenaline junkie, and it's so crazy. No one would ever expect that from all of this, that you were an adrenaline junkie.
It changed because, like I said, I met some people, some old friends of mine. They pushed me into being a model, and one of the persons that was involved in the catalyst of this his name was Tommy Garrett. He was a top Ford's model at the time. He also is from Newark, New Jersey, and he encouraged me, and that's how it all started for me.
For me, I know back in those days, like how beautiful you look. Most girls to me and most models to me back in those days seem a little more natural to me. You know, how does that differ from the girls today?
Well, the girls today, they're more It's more label oriented. Back then it wasn't, because mainly.
Explain that when you say label oriented.
Well, they wear a lot of label clothes. And a lot
clothing
of
designers.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of designers give them clothes for doing their show, and it's great advertisement for them. So, but back then when I was modeling, it was just jeans and a t-shirt, hair pulled back, clean skin. And then you just take your book to all the go-sees, to the clients, and they book you from that. You leave your card, and then they book you from that. But I had a big name photographer, Irving Penn, behind me. So from that, my rise to the top was quick.
So give me an idea of, I think I know, I do like fashion, I do like wine. Give me like the idea of a day of a model. Like what would a model do in their pursuit of their dream? Like what would be the preparations?
The preparation it's always clean hair, clean skin, and definitely clean clothes when you go on the go-see. So everything is done the day before. So you have to wash your hair, you have to show up at the clients with clean hair. They always have a makeup artist there, they always have a hairdresser there, but they always want you with clean hair, clean nails, and clean skin.
In terms of size, what is the requirements for size?
Back then it was size 6. Now it can go down to a 2 or a 0. But back then it was a size 6.
A size 6 is like a size 14 now, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess. Well,
when I tell people I'm like I'm a 10, they be like, okay. I'm like, I'm a
since
size
I've
10.
gotten back in the game, I'm a 6 now, so I guess I'm a 14.
that's the new 14. You tell someone your age, you be like, oh, I'm 40. They're like, that's the new 20.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Okay, dude, right. Oh, that is so cool. So, in terms of like the modeling, how has modeling affected your life the second time as opposed to the first time?
Well, the first time it was back in the 70s and 80s. And around that time, it was, I came from a world of hatred as far as being transgender.
Okay.
And it was never heard of that a transgender model back then would achieve as much as I did as far as getting contracts. And so when it all came to pass, when someone told my truth, my world stopped. So I had this great opportunity in front of me, and hatred stepped in, and my life changed.
When you say, let's touch on that a little bit. When you say someone told you the truth, what do you mean? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, I was on the set of a black publication, and things were going very well. And everybody was excited in what I was doing in front of the camera. Then suddenly someone came into the door. Now when I'm in front of the camera and a client tells me what they want from me, I normally have tunnel vision. So it's foggy to the left of me and to the right of me. And so when this person came through the door, he came on the left side, and then he called the editor of the magazine over to him. And they started conversating, and I lost concentration because that side of the room felt very negative to me for some reason. And the photographer noticed that I was losing concentration, so he asked me to rest. So when I was gathering my thoughts and loosening my shoulders and getting out of the posing, I happened to just glance over to the left side and see who Susan was talking to, and it was one of the hairdressers that I had worked with at the magazine beforehand. And so he proceeded to tell my truth, and what happened is that in the middle of the shoot, the editor shut the set down and sent everybody home. And the next day, literally, my work stopped because they contacted my agent, which was Zoli Management, and my work just literally stopped. I was a working model. I went on castings every day. I was going on jobs every day that they were getting for me. I was flying all over the country, but all of a sudden my work stopped overnight. And it went on for 2 weeks. I would get up every morning, call the agency, do I have a test, do I have a go-see? And they would tell me no. No one ever confronted me about this truth. They just took it for granted that this is what it is, and that we can't deal with that.
The moment after, I have a two-part question, I guess. The moment that you acknowledged the individual, like how was he aware of your truth? Did you have a personal relationship with him?
No, but all girls aren't perfect. And so I guess because there was such interest in me because of the famous photographer, so people check you out. And so I guess after a while of working around them and being around them, and then I was always quiet and shy. I was very shy and very quiet. And a lot of people mistook that as vanity. They thought that I was stuck up or vain. So I guess through, at some point, they were asking me on a job where, do I know this person or that person? And these were friends from Newark. So I would just immediately say no.
That would know your past.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would say no. And these were my friends who taught me to say, no, you don't know us. So I would say no. I don't know them. I'm sorry. I've heard of them, but I haven't met them as of yet. And so I guess this behind the scenes thing that they were doing, I guess they ran into somebody who knew my truth and decided that they were going to come to the set. Now that just amazed me that they actually had to call the company to find out where and who she was shooting that day, and they came to the set. So that's how much hatred was prevalent.
Let me just...
And he was not only an African American, but he was from the gay community.
That's beyond. That's literally just broke my heart. That is. Yeah.
But in my experience back then, a lot of the gay male population really didn't like or understand trans women. So we were considered, I would say, the bottom of the totem pole. Even though we're all different, even though we have gifts to offer the world, we were all classified as one.
Let me just say this to you. Based on what you just explained to me and how did you explain it to me, I truly got it and I felt it because I understand, truly understand. In that moment, was it based on the time that it was that you can own that and say, you know what? Okay, this is who I am. Being that your work has stood for itself and Herb had a relationship with you and believed in you and your work was, everybody was booking you, so it means that you were talent. Why wasn't your talent enough to supersede that?
Because it was the time. It was the 70s and 80s, and it just was not heard of.
So you actually think if you would have went in and told your, what is it?
If I would have told my
agency
in the very front, my agency would have escorted me out the door.
You know that for sure?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And when I was modeling, I wasn't thinking in terms of me being transgender. I was thinking in terms that I was a woman. I had a purpose. I had this opportunity, and I was just going to do my best. So I just went for the ride. That was basically it. I just went for the ride. But as my career started getting more and more, and I was getting so much publicity because of this photographer that discovered me, I started getting nervous that, maybe today might be the day. So I would say a prayer every day that I left the house. Please, God, don't let anyone disrespect me, call me out of a name, or try to embarrass me. And Lord, please don't let today be the day. And I would say that prayer every day that I left the house to go to work.
And let me just say this to you. I'm a firm believer that, no one can take anything from me. What's rightfully mine is mine. I don't care how many daggers you throw at me. I don't care what you're trying to put in my way. What is for me is for me. And what is for you, what's for you. It came full circle.
Yes.
Now on a celebratory note, how truly does it feel? Not that you have a new fan base, not that everybody knows your name now and you're on a commercial and you're on TV. what has that done for your faith in terms of coming full circle after all of these years? People have forgotten about you.
Yes.
The Creator has blessed you with another opportunity to shine. What has that done for you in that aspect?
It has kept me humbled. It has kept me appreciative of the doors that are opening, that has opened and going to open, and it's kept my faith grounded. Because eventually I didn't know this was going to happen. This was all a blessing. I got a phone call and it was Clairol. So times have changed, attitudes have changed, the thought process have changed. And they invited me back to represent them. And it's been so exciting for me.
I understand. I got it. I understand it. Let me just say this to you. Based on your past experience and you having that relationship with those people who told your truth, how does it affect you in a working relationship, professional working relationship now with people that surround you that supposedly is cheering for you?
Well, today I don't have to be worried about being fired.
Okay.
Because you know who I am, you know my credits, and you know what I'm capable of, and you just want me to be my true self. So that's making it a lot more relaxing for me this time around. I don't have to hide, I don't have to be shy, I don't have to be nervous of my truth being discovered. I just have to be me.
So that means that's a liberation that comes in that.
Yes.
And how does that make you a better model as opposed to in the 70s when you also had to be structured and careful and in your performance? How does this experience liberated you to? I guess I'm asking the same question over. How does has that experience liberated you to enhance your performance?
Well, I don't think it enhanced my performance. It's more accepting for me to be in front of the camera now.
So it's more comfortable.
More comfortable. It's more relaxing.
You can be more
People are
clear.
loving and respecting now. It's not like, after the after effect of the hatred and people that I have worked with in the past. When I was a beautiful woman, I was no longer a beautiful woman.
There you are.
I was. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
back then, females that I've worked with in the past, I was a man or I was a fag or whatever terms that they used. So now it's not. Now it's more respectful. Now it's all about love. Now it's all about me being able to show my talents again.
Sitting in front of me, like you have this very calm, demure essence of a woman who you are. Where does that come from? And what part of that plays into your work? Or do you play characters in your work to come out of that?
No, only in film.
Okay, only in film, yeah.
It's
Okay.
when I'm character, but this is my personality. I just always been relaxed. I've always been, I would say my personality is a warm soul and a loving heart. And that's how I carried myself through the world.
Through the world.
Right.
That is great.
And I've always surrounded myself with positive people. So, and I stay away from the negative. So that helped me, that helped me a lot also.
So why don't you tell me some of the projects that you're working on now, being that you have this great new opportunity? I don't want to say fame, but because I just always feel like it's never truly about, for me, it's never truly about fame or fortune. It's about art for me. I love creating. I would do it if no one was watching. And I'm quite sure you feel the same way about Molly. Now that you have this opportunity, how does it feel and what are you working on?
It truly feels like a blessing. And it's been overwhelming with the love and support that I've been getting from people. And what I'm working, besides the Clairol ad, I now have an international cover with Harper's Bazaar that's out on the stands now in the international bookstores. And I have 2 fashion pages on the inside. And I'm also involved in a film. This will be my second independent film that I'm working on.
So why don't you state each project that you have done in chronological order right now? But it don't have to be in order, just state each one. You said Harper's?
Yes, I did Harper's Bazaar for the September issue, and that's when the Clairol ad was appeared in. And for the October issue, of Harper's Bazaar International, India magazine. I'm on the cover, and I have 2 fashion pages on the inside.
And your original booking was for Clairol. What color was that? What box is that?
That was box N, my original,
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, I was dark auburn, box 512, and the campaign was called Born Beautiful.
Born Beautiful.
And my color was one of the most popular colors, and it lasted for 3 years
Okay.
on
And
the shelves.
now this one is what?
Well, I'm just representing the company because they have another beautiful model on the cover. What they did was dye my hair that color that she's wearing, which is brighter brown, and it's box 6N. And so I'm not on a color box.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I know that they gave you an award in your name. That was so well deserved.
Yes,
The Tracy, was it Tracy Africa or Tracy Norman Award?
It was Tracy for the ball community.
The ball community, yeah.
It was Tracy Africa for the achievement and being a trailblazer.
How did that make you feel, seeing all
That
the
was-
young faces and all the
That
new
was
kids?
exciting, and now that the younger generation are recognizing me and appreciating who I am, and acknowledging that I was the trailblazer, so I felt very honored by this younger generation, that the love and respect that they're giving me.
Isn't that amazing that
Right.
like they get to actually experience a true iconic
Yeah.
trailblazer in their lifetime, and not that, oh, I know so and so has passed on, but she used to be someone
Yes.
who's actually here, who's done it. Say,
Yes.
I've done it. That is
Yes.
amazing. You reach. So how do you feel about the other girls that's out doing wonderful stuff like Janet Mark and Laverne Cox?
Feel fantastic. I met Laverne in person.
Okay.
And she embraced me. We had a great conversation, and she told me that if it wasn't for me to leave the door cracked, it might not have happened for her. So that was really the epitome of a compliment that she gave me. So I was very honored. And then she did, for Cosmopolitan, she honored me by reproducing the box. She had my picture of the box there, and then she had the makeup and hair and the blouse that she took a picture of all the women that inspired her in the Cosmopolitan.
How does that make you feel?
That was incredible. That was incredible. I had such a Kool-Aid smile on my face
That-
because I didn't realize she was doing it, and when it was done, she told me about it, and I was so excited.
I know they had another model on American Next Top Model, Isis King.
Yes.
And following your footsteps. How do you
Yes.
feel about that?
I'm happy for her. I hope I just wish the world for her. Whatever the world has to offer her, I wish she gets it.
So I know that you and Douglas are really great friends. You
Yes.
guys have a bond together that's amazing. I know this is one of his dresses.
Yes, it is.
Talk about that.
This is a print because Douglas knows that I love print and color. So he always keeps me in bright prints and colors. And so he created this for me. And this is like almost the first time I'm having it on film. Second time I'm having it on film.
I know that when you do those type of jobs, they come with their own hair and makeup and wardrobe. Why did you pick Douglas?
Well, I'm loyal to Douglas. He's been my friend, he's been my confidant, he's been my shoulder to cry on. He's been there for me since the very beginning. He knows my ups and my downs. He keeps me grounded. And he has invited me into his home, and his family is like my second family.
So, did they come with the wardrobe and all that? And you're like, no, I'm demanding that I wear Douglas, correct?
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm
That's
just
okay.
remembering that the first time Douglas invited me to his home, I met his mother, and she welcomed me with open arms, and that meant so much to me. And ever since I would go and visit him and his sister, who were the ones that reached out to me and invited me as their family, my second family. I've always sat and spoke with her. And I was so glad to do that because I learned a lot. When you sit and talk to your elders, you really learn a lot. And it was the same with my grandmother, it was the same with my mother. That when you sit and actually listen, you learn a lot. And I will never, ever forget that, and I will always cherish that.
If you had any advice for someone who looks at you or been looking at your journey, and you want to give some advice to them, what would that be in terms of they wanted to pursue a modeling or acting career?
My advice was, do I talk into the camera, or you want me to continue to talk to you?
You can talk into the camera.
My advice to you is, if an opportunity arises for you, walk through the door, because that's how I lived my entire life. When an opportunity knocks, walk through the door. And that would be my advice to you. For whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't matter whether you want to be a model, an actress, a singer, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer. It doesn't matter. When an opportunity presents itself, walk through the door.
That was beautiful. I want a couple of more questions, and then we're going to wrap up. What inspires you the most?
Fashion inspires me. Life in general now, at my age, I'm appreciating it. That inspires me. Love inspires me, and family. That I have a family unit that I can trust, and they have my support, and I have theirs.
That's amazing. I feel like I'm talking to myself. This is a little bit off the question, but I feel like your sisters. Please tell me you're an animal lover. You see, like
Oh, yes.
Yes, I knew it.
I've had animals in my entire life.
I knew you were a dog lover.
Yes.
What kind?
Well, I've had everything. I've had a fox terrier.
Nice.
I've had a shepherd mix.
Love.
I've had a poodle. I've had a Chinese pug, and my last baby was a Rottweiler.
Thank you guys for watching, and me sharing this wonderful experience with you guys. Thank you for watching Just Jada. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. This is a new show, but I'm doing my best to bring you guys the best that I have. Thank you, and remember that life happens in the moment. Ciao.